Bobbins and Lathrop! Am I glad to see you? Listen, I seem to be having a bit of a nightmare. Bobbins? Lathrop?
They cannot hear you, Tim, for you are a spirit now. Nothing more than a soft breeze upon their shoulders.
Look now, Lathrop. What time did Crachit say he'd be meeting us?
8:30, I think. Blimey, it's cold.
Well, before Tim gets here, I want to, Merry Christmas.
What? A present? What sentimental hooey? Why, Lathrop will laugh in his face.
Thank you. Here. I got one for you, too. Not much, but I did manage to save a few bob.
Thanks.
Why, they never gave me any presents at Christmas. They never gave me so much as the time of day.
We better hide these before Tim shows up.
Did you give him a present?
Why, of course I did.
That's more like it.
I'll give him the pleasure of my company, just like he does for us. Get Tiny Tim a present? You know how he thinks Christmas is only a time for getting. He'd laugh us into Manchester if he found out we've been giving each other Christmas presents. You don't think he's gone and got us anything, do you?
The day old Tiny Tim broke down and bought anyone a Christmas present is the day that I do a ballet dance in Covent Garden. Come along, let's go see the little old selfish bastard hauled in.
He really is a cheeky thing, isn't he? Expecting everyone to cater him and not even buying a Christmas penny postcard for Mr. Scrooge, who made his life possible.
Well, there's those that got and those that give. And then there's Tiny Tim Crachit.
I never knew they shared the Christmas season. I always thought
That they were like you. No, Tim. Even Bobbins and Lathrop understand the pure joy of giving to another, and not only at Christmas, but at all times. Now we have another vision to see. You still must learn what magic lies at your feet, and how you sadly trample upon it. Come, and view the magic of Christmas.
What place is this? Why, it's Uncle Ebenezer's house. Look, there's his housekeeper, Mrs. Rice.
I'm surprised you recognize her for how infrequently you visit his home.
I'm sure Uncle Ebenezer will have a jolly holiday. He's wealthy enough to have the best of everything.
Sometimes, wealth is not measured in dollar signs, lad.
Good evening, sir.
Ah, Mrs. Rice. Good evening, good evening. Isn't it a beautiful Christmas Eve?
That it is, sir, that it is. Went to the butcher like you asked this morning, Mr. Scrooge. I ordered the biggest Christmas goose they had, and had it delivered to the Crachits as usual.
Good! Good!
And I sent the presents over to your nephew Fred's. I'd ordered a hack to do it, there were so many. And I had cook prepared 20 baskets of food for the poor. Oh, such baskets they are. Meats and cheese and sweets.
You didn't forget the plum pudding, did you? It's not Christmas without plum pudding.
Right on top they are.
Have them delivered to Reverend Albright, then.
Very well, sir. Any note to go with it?
No, I don't want my name on it at all.
You wish to remain alone?
I wish to remain anonymous. Let the Reverend distribute the food to the needy without thought as to having to thank somebody.
Yes, sir. Speaking of which, sir, I saw the Christmas tree you sent to the orphanage tonight. All sparkling in the window it is, and a heap of presents spread beneath it like a blanket of snow. The children will be so pleased.
Good! Good! Everyone should have a present on Christmas Day. Speaking of which...
Yes, sir. It came this afternoon.
Wonderful. Wonderful. It is a beauty, isn't it? Do you think Tim will like it?
It's free, isn't it? I love it.
Now, Mrs. Rice.
Well, excuse me for saying, sir, but just once, wouldn't it be nice if young Master Crachit sent you a thank you note for all the wonderful things you do? I saw the bill for that walking stick, sir. It really is too extravagant for someone who doesn't appreciate all you do.
Just Mrs. Rice. The boy appreciates my gifts. I know that.
The boy is a man now, sir. Old enough to be thanking you for everything you've done.
The smile on his face is enough thanks.
Yes, sir. Mr. Scrooge, it would be an honor if you would come spend Christmas Eve with my family.
Ah, thank you, Mrs. Rice. That would be lovely, but the holidays are a time for families. Besides, Tim said he may come over tonight if his leg isn't bothering him. I want to be here in case he does.
Mr. Scrooge, Tim always says he'll come, and he never does, unless there's money waiting for him.
Mrs. Rice, the night air sometimes affects his leg.
I've noticed he doesn't have any trouble coming home from the pub late at night.
Well, he's young. Let him enjoy life after
All those years of pain. Yes, sir.
Oh, and by the way, I have something extra for you and Cook. A little Christmas bonus. We're working as hard as you do to make my life easier.
Mr. Scrooge, you have been overly generous as it is.
Indulge an old man, would you, Mrs. Rice? It is Christmas.
Yes, sir. Will there be anything else?
No, nothing at all. Gracious Mrs. Rice, what are you still doing here? It's Christmas Eve. You have a family, don't you? Well, you should be with them. Now get along, get along.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to make sure everything was finished, sir. Merry Christmas, sir. Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge.
Oh, bah humbug.
Is this how Uncle Ebenezer spends Christmas Eve? Alone?
Oh, he does not lack invitations. Every charity he donates to wants him to join them. Not to mention his own nephew Fred. They all invited him. But he prefers to stay at home, waiting for his special Christmas visitor.
Me?
Yes. It seems your leg has been acting up again tonight. Or at least that is what you shall tell him the next time you see him. And he will act as if it doesn't matter a whit.
He looks so lonely yet. He's so happy.
Ebenezer has the gift of hope. He hopes that someday his young charge will appreciate all that he has done for him. Of course, his young charge has more important business matters to discuss at the Bull and Finch.
Poor Uncle Ebenezer.
Oh, don't worry about Scrooge. Tomorrow, when you tell him your leg has flared up, he will believe you and hold no grudges. You will get the walking stick, Tim. Never fear.
I don't care about the stick. I just wish that I was
Yes.
Nothing. I'm sure Uncle Ebenezer will have a proper Christmas Eve dinner, with or without me.
A bowl of soup and a crust of bread. Perhaps a sip of wine. No more.
What? Is that all he is eating?
That's all he can afford after the Christmas expenses. Putting on the party for the employees, donating to the charities, helping the poor, buying expensive walking sticks.
But he makes good money.
Even generosity has its limits. Scrooge lavished his presents on everyone but himself. His joy comes from the pleasure he gives others. For his own self, he makes do with what he can.
But I always thought that he
No,
was...
Tim, you never thought. You never thought of anyone but yourself. My time grows dim. Come along.
Uncle Ebenezer? Uncle Ebenezer, please! You must hear me!
Come, lad, come.
I never knew how happy my visits could make him.
Best Christmas presents are when you give of yourself. They needn't cost a penny. But you shall soon see where your selfishness gets you, Tim. One more spirit awaits.
Oh, ghost of Christmas present, I have changed. I swear it. Please, do not leave me alone with the future. It frightens me most of all.
The future is always frightening for those whose past holds no promise. Sleep, Tim, for soon you shall learn the truth. Sleep. Sleep.
Alone. I'm not yet 3. Perhaps I have time to escape. Yes, I can get home and into my own bed. And none of this will have ever have happened. I have to escape! Ghost of Christmas future? Oh, please! Please! If I repent now, may I go home? Please! I dread the future! Please! Yes. Yes, I come.